You ready?
Okay.
The Newton Zoning Board of Adjustments is having a special meeting at 7:03 PM.
Recording in progress.
Recording in process.
Want to take attendance, Jim? Oh, is mine on? Can you hear me?
Mr. Kozak?
Here?
Mr. Hamel? Mr. Gibbs? Ms. McCarthy?
Here.
Ms. White?
Ms. White?
Here.
Ms. Reardon?
Here.
Ms. Reardon?
Mr. Sylvia is excused.
Mr. Sylvia is
Please stand for pledge allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll open the public meeting at 7:05 PM.
Mr. Chair, would you like to seat Ms. Reardon as a voting member?
Oh, yes. Ms. Reardon, you'll be a voting member this evening? Okay. 125 Development, New Hampshire Corp. is requesting 12 variances from Article 25, Section 1, location of lot for a private roadway spanning 4 lots off Puzzle Lane. The lots are referred to as tax map 14, block 1, lots 1-1, 2, 27-3, 27-6, and 27-7.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself on this issue.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, would you like to put Ms. White in for Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Thank you.
No denial letter or condition requirements from the planning board as needed to come before the ZBA is requested by Article 12 of the Rules of Procedure for Newton ZBA. I would like someone to make a motion to hold these applicants in abstinence until the plan has been conditionally approved by the planning board. Would someone like to make the motion? If they'd like to read it from what I have in front of me, that'll be fine.
Okay, so are we reading it from our policies and procedures?
Pardon me? This is it, in the motion.
So, no denial letter. This means, I think, that we did not receive a denial letter. Is that
That's
correct?
correct, that's correct.
Or condition requirement from the planning board as needed to come before the ZBA as required by Article 12 of the Rules of Procedure for the Newton ZBA. So I'd like to motion to hold these applications in abeyance until the plan has been conditionally approved by the planning board.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Yes. Go ahead.
Do you have a denial from either the planning board or the building department?
We don't currently. We know what requirements that we don't meet at the ZBA. And we've been in front of the planning board for our initial hearing.
Have you read the zoning board adjustment rules and procedures?
I have, and we were here, 6 months ago for the same hearings on the same issues.
Each hearing is handled differently, okay? Our procedure says just what we stated. That's why we're going to push it off.
So, if I may, there's got to be a cart before the horse before the cart kind of thing.
That's correct.
So the planning board won't know if this project is even viable without the approval from the zoning board.
Well, they
plan-
need to look at the plans and give us the information.
The planning board looked at it and said that we would need variances for the items that we have listed.
They did say that?
They did not provide a letter, and I believe if you look,
If you provided that letter to us, we could continue on.
Yeah.
I believe, yes, okay.
And that was kind of my question. So, because you've been here probably more than we have, and thank you, Barry. But I wanted to make sure, and Mr. Gibbs kind of said it, because they've come to us so many times, I wanted to make sure, I have to admit, we've looked at a lot of things here. But you've gone before the planning board for these specific variances for the,
Well, the planning board doesn't look at variances. The planning board looked at the project, the site plans that we have in front of them.
okay,
And they indicated at that time that we would require variances to build what we are proposing to build.
sure. So it sounds like he met the requirement.
Well, but we don't have them. We don't have anything in black and white, and that's why we're at where we are.
Okay, and again, maybe I shouldn't say this, but we've had this application. We knew this was going to come before us.
Well, it states right in the application fee, and I'll read it to you. A permit denial of the building inspector, board of health, appeal of decision of the planning board, or other town officials or board responsibility issues. So we haven't got that information.
If I may, this is a preliminary hearing, correct?
That's correct.
Which at this time you determine if we require additional information.
This is the whole purpose of what I've just said.
Exactly. So if we go and get the denial letter or
written-
the planning board to indicate,
Yeah, well, we want the planning board to, we don't know if the planning board has looked at these plans, because on here it says ZBA. Doesn't say planning board. We don't know if they've received this. I have no idea.
I understand. You could ask your zoning board
Yeah.
administrator if they have or not, or one thing, or you can take the word of professional who says they have. But being a preliminary hearing, it's the board in the past has indicated which items we don't have.
Well, that's what we're
And then
telling
we
you.
can-
That's what we're telling you, that's why the motion was
Absolutely.
made.
But you could also hear the project if you see if there's anything else that is required or that you don't, or you believe is required.
Has the town engineer looked at these plans?
These are ZBA plans. They don't get built.
I'm saying, we should be looking at the planning board plans,
Right.
not ZBA plans.
I can provide those plans. They're a different set. The planning board doesn't require 20 scale drawings. Okay?
Okay,
They're the same drawings, just at a different scale. The planning board, this is the set that the planning board has received. That includes all the changes that you want to see, or all the items that are being requested for a variance.
okay,
And the town engineer has looked at them. The zoning board just deals with zoning issues. The planning board deals with engineering issues.
Right, and the planning board might change some of these things, so you don't need a variance.
Again, cart before the horse, right? We have to know that we have the ability to do the things that we're requesting to do at the planning board level before the planning board will approve those. You come to the zoning board first and then the planning board.
No, we want the planning board to review this, make their comments. We have no idea what they're gonna think about this plan. None whatsoever.
That doesn't
Well,
matter.
It does to us. Okay?
but it sounds like he went to the planning board.
We did go to the planning board.
So they went to the planning board.
I understand that.
Okay,
We have nothing from the planning board that says they're happy with everything,
okay,
okay?
all right. I don't want to say anything. I feel his frustration. I feel the frustration. Let me just say, I think it's an injustice that we don't communicate well. Let me just say that. So if we had these plans, whenever, and we realized we were putting the cart before the horse or whatever, should you as the chairperson perhaps maybe reached out and said, just so that you know, that we need something from the planning board so that they could have done their due diligence? I'm asking this as a question. You know, I've only been on this board, a year and a half, so I'm still learning. All of you that are seasoned people, feel free to correct me. I just think it's an injustice to our residents if we don't let them know. I'm sure he's not pro bono. He's getting paid to be here probably. And so is that an injustice on a whole nother level? And if you went to the planning board and you don't have anything from planning board,
No, we did not.
Okay.
I mean, there's the minutes
I
from the
wonder if
planning
there's
board
public minutes.
posted. And
Okay. I'm just saying,
I understand what
there's
you're
an
saying.
injustice here.
We've got a standard that we set back months ago on the application. And the applicant, I'm sure, must have read it. They get a copy, that's what they filled out. And so we want to kind of stick, I believe, with what we have in black and white.
Well, and I'm not speaking for you, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
But he may have he met the standard because they went to the planning board.
I don't know that. I guess they did, but, I'm saying that we got nothing from them that says
They have
approved it.
started the process in front of the planning board. The planning board has in no way, and these have been sent to the town engineer, they've been sent to the circuit rider.
Okay.
However, they're coming back before the planning board next week with additional information that was requested, and they haven't even gotten into the meat of the plans yet.
So is the homework here for Barry, excuse me for using your first name, is our job right now to tell him, because this is preliminary, this is what you need for the next meeting, whether it's planning board, town engineer, or do we tell him this so that he knows?
That is exactly what we're telling them today.
We are?
Yeah.
I didn't, okay.
Yeah.
So we're telling him we need the town engineer's plans and planning board?
That's something the planning board does, not us, But at
But
least
I
the
thought
set,
you just said we need
if
the
the set of plans changes, then that's, I'm hoping, we'll be working with, whatever the planning board comes up with.
All right.
Yeah.
So if I may, the motion was just to move us because we don't have the planning board letter.
That is correct, yeah.
This being the preliminary hearing where the board looks at the plans and the application and determines if there's anything else that we need, that would seem to be appropriate. But by your motion, you're indicating that the only thing that we're missing is a letter from the planning board indicating that we need these variances.
At this time, that's correct, yeah.
Is that correct?
So if I understand what he's trying to say is that he'd like to know if there's anything else,
That's what it sounds like.
so that this motion is
Do we need to amend it?
narrower in scope maybe than if we had questions about.
That's where, with a denial letter from the planning board, we could see what they're saying, or from the building department, or whoever, see why they're saying you can't do what you're doing. And
Mr.
then we
Chair?
gotta make suggestions
Mr. Chair,
on
could
that.
you have Mr. Gibbs make sure his microphone is on? I can't hear a thing he's saying,
Is
please.
your microphone on, Mr. Gibbs?
Not on mute. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you, thank you.
Huh,
I didn't change it.
it was on. Oh, well. Okay, so
There's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. Jim, you want to take a roll call vote?
Ms. White,
Can you do me a favor? Can you repeat that motion for me, please?
the motion was to hold these applicances in abeyance until the planning board has conditionally approved the plan.
Okay. All right.
Could I make a comment? Mr. Chair?
I remember that when they came before the planning board, I don't remember that there was anything about this part of the road down here. So I don't know if the planning board has actually seen this, the lower part of the board. So I will say aye. Yes, I agree.
Could I make a comment, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Your motion is to continue until the planning board has conditionally approved this.
That's correct.
The planning board won't, well, they shouldn't conditionally approve this without the zoning board's activity, either approval or denial. Because without that, without this board saying that I can put a road where I'm proposing, they shouldn't act.
The planning board will say pending the zoning board of approvals.
So it could be like a conditional.
Right, it's gonna be a condition on there,
or a
on the
denial.
planning board. That way, we're all looking at the same set of plans.
Okay.
And I also, I know we're in the motion, but this is discussion still, because this is puzzling for me. So if he has to appear in front of planning board, and Jim, did you say you don't have a lot of the stuff yet for that meeting next week?
We have the plans. I'm still waiting for the town engineer's letter.
Comments?
I'm waiting for the circuit rider's letter. Those haven't come in yet.
So I guess my question is, so that we're not having him become a member, because he's here every month, is this going to happen on the next planning board meeting, so that then we can postpone this, or whatever you want to call it, abeyance, till our next meeting? Or do we have to come up with a date to be considered, a different date?
Well, I think that if that information isn't available to us, we'll push it off to the following month, and whatever they have it done, with both the planning board and themselves.
You could change it to, from conditional approval till state that it has been reviewed by the planning board, so that you have some sort of a document from the town engineer to be able to say, yes, these are the variances that are necessary. The circuit rider give their input.
I like that verbiage better.
Okay.
And then we just have to make sure that you get what you need for the planning board, so that we can keep this train going.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that, and that allows us to move in a parallel path so that we
Right.
get approved at the same time.
Yes,
And just to clarify, the plans that you're going to see, the zoning board requires 20 scale plans. The site plans won't be at 20 scale. There's too much information to provide them all
Right.
at 20 scale. So we provide you the excerpts of the items that we're asking for variances for, instead of 57 sheets that you don't need to see.
yes,
Yeah, that would be acceptable.
I understand that, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
So I struck the words conditionally approved and replaced it with reviewed
Viewed.
by the
Like-
planning board. Would you like me to include the town engineer and circuit rider in there?
Well, if that's part of the requirements of the planning board, I would say let's do it, so that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah, I want to see what they
Mary?
say.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Like
that's a
say,
friendly
you move it
amendment.
over 10 feet, and that's 10-foot less variance, and,
Right.
you know, it's going to be better. That's what the engineer does.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody happy with that? Jim, you want to read the motion now that it's
The
been
motion
revised?
now reads to hold these applications in abeyance until the plan has been reviewed by the planning board, town engineer, and circuit rider.
I like that
Everybody happy
better.
with the wording?
I like that better. Mary's thinking about it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Barbara? Oh, listen.
Yes, that sounds good. That sounds better.
Okay.
What did she say, Jim? I couldn't.
She said it
The
sounds
speaker's
better.
right behind me, I can't.
She said it, yes, it
Okay.
sounds better.
Yeah,
You want to take a roll call vote, Jim?
okay. Ms. White,
Aye.
Mr. Gibbs,
Aye.
Ms. Reardon,
Aye.
Ms. McCarthy,
Aye.
Mr. Kozak.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I say something? Because I'd like to,
Yes.
it's actually for Mr. Guyer, too. If Jim could send him that list that I gave about the fact that when the board looks at all of the variances that they want, we're going to do sheet by sheet and which impacts are on each sheet. So if Jim could send that to Mr. Guyer, then he'll have all that ready for when he comes back before the board.
I think.
I shared that with all the board members.
Right.
Yes, but I'd like you to share it with Mr. Guyer so that he can get his
I can do
ducks in a
that.
row.
If I may. Ms. White, the applications, each of the applications at the top right, it does indicate which sheet the requested variance is depicted on.
I know that, but what I the list that I put together was so that everybody doesn't have to be flipping back and forth to page. If they go to all the variances on sheet ZBA 2 and go through all that, and then get up whatever's on ZBA 4 and whatever on ZBA 5, I think it would be a lot easier.
Yeah, I understand now.
Okay, I made a list, I sent it to Jim and the board members, and he could send you that list. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we accept the minutes of 9:26?
I return to the meeting, make a motion to accept the minutes of 9/6/26 with the corrections that have been...
23.
There is one correction. I sent out an email to everybody. Article 2, Part A, the board decided was not applicable versus that it had been met. I just got carried away writing the minutes and it was,
Yeah, I'm looking. Yep.
who seconded that? Yeah,
Roger made the motion. Wait a second. You're back to a voting member,
Yes.
and Ms. Reardon's back to a...
Yes, you're still voting for but Ms. White is not.
Okay.
right.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
And I'm out right now.
Okay. Did I hear a second on the...
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Next, let's review the manifest.
make a motion to pay the manifest for the Ferrara closeout for $99.72.
Do we have a second?
I didn't hear it. The Ferrara closeout of $99.72. Second.
Mr. Doggett, you would have polled the board, please?
Mr. Gibbs?
I printed it out.
Aye. Mr. Hamel?
All right,
Ms. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Reardon?
Aye.
I printed.
And Mr. Kozak?
Aye. Okay.
make a motion to pay the ZBA escrow account dated 10/4/23 in the amount of $163.88.
Second.
Okay. Mr.
Thank you.
Doggett, will you poll the board, please?
You usually have a very deep voice, Frank. It's fading tonight. Mr. Gibbs? Aye. Mr. Hamel?
Aye.
Ms. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Reardon?
Aye.
Mr. Kozak?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Adjournment at 7:25 PM.
Thank you.
Good night, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White.